Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Markiplier Last Slice of Pizza. Welcome everybody, Markiplier.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Mark, give me the Zuck. So here we are. This feels so surreal because we're here talking about the release of the next Sonic Team game. The last time we did that was almost 5 years ago with Sonic Forces.
Yeah, I'm only thinking about how long ago Sonic Forces was now.
Like,
it's not okay.
Next month, Sonic Mania will be 5 years old. That's fucking crazy.
It's also weird that we've gone so long with, like, nothing.
Yeah. I mean, this is the longest portion of time since, since Sonic 3 Knuckles and Sonic Adventure came out. They're like the longest portion of time between mainline, like, Sonic the Hedgehog games developed by Sonic Team. So we are I hate to use the phrase, but we're living in unprecedented times, you see. But not only is the release window unprecedented, the actual game that we have in front of ourselves is unprecedented. Sonic Frontiers is set to be the first open world Sonic game.
No.
You're right. You caught me. Open zone.
There's apparently a huge difference.
Huge fucking difference between open world and open zone design. I can kind of understand what Iizuka means by that, but we'll get into that as we discuss. Yeah. I guess we should start off by saying that this game's advertisement was and has been and continues to be complete dog shit.
IGN. Why would they choose IGN as their primary source of information?
But it's like,
and then have them do it like weird drip feed over a month.
It's like, it's not even that though, because even before IGN got involved, what did we get as the first confirmation that this game was released? A CGI trailer where Sonic is running. And that's it.
Yeah.
Hey guys, guess what? Sonic will run in this game. He will run and he will go fast.
Why have we not seen any of the story that we know is in the game yet?
Yeah,
not even like an opening cutscene.
That's probably going to be like the most exciting part about this game for me personally. It's not even any of the gameplay stuff. It's not the new aesthetic. It's Ian Flynn is finally writing a script for a Sonic game. That's the most exciting shit. We have not heard a single, well, we've heard one line. We have heard exactly one line from the B-roll of the game, and that is it. There is no story content that we've seen from this game other than vague summaries, which we can also...
Very weird for them to keep the story of a Sonic game hidden.
According to all the interviews that I've read with Ian Flynn and Takashi Iizuka, they're trying to go for like the most mysterious vibe they can, and that includes keeping like the story details under wraps as much as they can. Honestly, I don't think we're gonna get like a story trailer or like an idea as to what this game is going to be about until like a month before release. And even that, it's going to be like super sparse details.
I could see that.
Which is disappointing because I'm like, this story, I guarantee you this story is going to be the best we've seen since...
Just from what we've heard about it so far, it already sounds far more interesting than like the past 5 games.
Exactly, yeah. But, from that Sonic Central in May of 2021... and into this past June, we've pretty much had nothing but leaks. So I guess we should talk about those leaks as they were coming out back when the game was still being called Sonic Rangers and everything. So what do you think about that?
I don't remember the exact timeline for what was talked about in what order.
Mm-hmm.
But the leaks sound weird. The leaks sound like a lot of things that they should have just shown off about the game.
Mm-hmm. I remember it was like literally hours after they showed off the first CGI trailer, and people were posting screenshots of 4chan, and the posts from 4chan were made like 5 or 6 months ago about Sonic Rangers and how it was going to be open world and everything. But even like before that, we still had leaks of people saying that the game was going to be very it was going to be very Sega hired this man and very Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
And when I heard that,
trailers did look like that.
And when I heard that, I was just like, oh, this is concerning, but also kind of exciting, because it means that Sonic Team is finally branching off into a different direction. Granted, the last time Sega branched off into a different direction, we got Lost World. And I actually like Lost World, but general consensus over time has developed into Lost World was average to mediocre. So
okay, but general consensus over time has also turned into Unleashed was good, actually.
06 was 06 was only enjoyable to Gen Zers, apparently.
Give it like 5 years and everyone will be singing Lost World's praises again.
Well, Lost World, it's almost been a decade since Lost World, so I don't know if that's gonna happen. Give it like another
I don't like thinking about that either.
10 years since 10 years since
I remember
Lost
being
World.
excited for it coming out on Wii U.
I remember the very first Facebook post for Lost World. It was in May. And then I counted out the days to when they were going to reveal the first trailer. And dude, Lost World's first trailer was great. It had fucking cinema by Skrillex. It had fucking good showcase of the gameplay. It showed the villains of the game. The villains of the game. Could you imagine?
We don't talk about Skrillex in a Sonic trailer.
Bangarang and Sonic Boom. Anyone? Listen, I don't care in a sort of cringy sort of way. That shit was fire. That shit was amazing. But like as more and more of the leaks came out, they mentioned that Sonic was going to have amnesia in the game, which
that's a weird detail.
Yeah, no, but here's the thing. As soon as that got revealed, I'm like, wait a minute. Ian Flynn got taken off the IDW comics sometime around like early to mid 2019. And in addition to that, at the end of the very last arc he worked on, at the end of the Metal Virus arc, what happens to Sonic? He gets transported to the Soul Dimension and he loses all of his memories. But then like 3 issues later, he regains all of his enemies, goes back to his own dimension, fights Eggman, jobs are good, and the slate is wiped clean for Evan Stanley to come in, right? However, what could have happened around 2019 for Ian Flynn to get removed as main writer? He's been main writer on the Sonic comics for like 15 years. What happened? Oh, all of a sudden we got leaks saying that Sonic will have amnesia in the games now? Oh, you don't think, put on my tinfoil hat, you don't think Ian Flynn's writing for the game? And I fucking called it. I just want to put that out there. I fucking called that shit, baby. Amazing.
I really hope that with Ian Flynn being behind the game, like there's the legitimate possible chance of us eventually getting some of the comic characters in the games.
Yeah, definitely. I would love to see a and Ian's talked about this on the podcast before and how he's envisioned like a rough and tumble boss fight where like earlier on in the game you fight them individually, but near the end of the game you fight them together, and it's actually like a really tough boss fight.
Well, I mean, what's nice about the current state of Sonic comics is that the universe of Sonic is intended to be much more grounded to the games.
Right.
So we've already seen characters from the comics in the mobile game, at least.
Oh, yes.
It's not out of the realm of possibility to see like an alternate version of them or whatever get incorporated into the actual main series.
Let me just let me just ask you though, have you read Sonic issue 50 yet?
Yeah.
Well, we know one character that's not gonna be in Frontiers. Oh, geez, that issue fucks. Anyway,
it's very good.
Which is
I like Eggman getting to be like actually kind of intimidating.
Holy shit! Yeah, I love how Ian Flynn writes Dr. Eggman. It's incredible. That's one of the things I can't wait for Frontiers. That's gonna be.
Because Eggman's been such a strange. That's actually something really interesting. Because Eggman's been such a strange case in the games, because they want him to be like slightly more intimidating, but he's also a joke, and he can never be both. None of the past game writers from the past like 10 years have been able to successfully have Eggman be both, and I think maybe Ian Flynn might be able to.
I definitely think Ian Flynn might be able to, and you know, to to Ken Pontac and Warren Graff's credit, I think Lost World was also an excellently written Eggman. Like, he was threatening, but there were also some really fucking funny lines.
Yeah, but he wasn't really the villain for the entire game.
Right, yeah.
He wasn't really an antagonist until the fuck you at the end of the game.
Yeah, at the end, it was just sort of... At the end of the day, it was just sort of Lost World.
But I mean,
Lost World.
Lost World's writing sin happens with Tails.
Yeah. Again, my theory is just that Ken Pontac and Warren Graff just fucking hate Tails. They just don't like him.
Wouldn't surprise me. There's Lost World, and then there's also Forces.
I think those two honestly get a little bit too much flack from the community. But with Tails, yeah, they could have been better.
I just think their direction worked until they started to try to do more with it.
Yeah.
Because Color's writing is fine, because Colors basically doesn't have a story.
Yeah,
Colors is just a very simple game.
Colors is just a series of gags.
Yeah, and their story works great. It's very reminiscent almost of like a more modern Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, you know, for jokes, and they're doing silly, dumb, goofy stuff, and that's the entire game. That's when their writing, I think, works the best, when it's just trying to be silly. Second, they try to do anything more, it starts to fall apart.
Yeah. What are we supposed to be talking about? Frontiers? Yeah, what about Frontiers? But yeah, super excited for the story when they actually decide to fucking show that shit off. I guess we gotta get into the gameplay.
I genuinely cannot believe that we are seeing early 2000s level homing attack and punch the enemy a bunch back in a video game.
Yeah. Although, you know what? Here's my stance on combat in Sonic games, right? I hate it. Absolutely fucking despise it in all the previous games. Even the games that do it, I think, the best, like Heroes, where you can level up the characters, you have multiple ways of dealing with enemies quicker, and like a leveled up like speed type character in Heroes can just homing attack egg ponds no problem. Like that shit's great. And even in Shadow, you have the gunplay, so you can just press the square button a couple of times. It'll get rid of enemies really quickly. But then we get to shit like 06, where it's just homing attack, mash the A button over and over again until you're allowed to proceed. Just really slow, dumb, pace-breaking shit that I just don't like in your traditional Sonic games. Having said that, when you have the context of an open world game, I honestly think you kind of need some sort of combat. I honestly do think you need some sort of more interaction with the world in an open zone, quote unquote, context, that good combat and in-depth combat actually tends to be more of a necessity and more of a utility that actually serves the gameplay more. It makes you feel like Sonic, you know?
It would not surprise me if the combat also does not apply to the cyberspace levels. It would not surprise me if the enemies you can just homing attack once and they're dead, because
I honestly
they
hope
know
so,
how
yeah.
to do those levels.
Right, exactly, yeah.
If you have to do the the sit there for a second punching it combat in like the traditional Sonic levels, that's where there's really going to be an issue with it for me.
Exactly.
I think it looks mostly fine. Like, no enemy, unless it's like an enemy that's clearly intended to take longer than 5 seconds to kill. Most enemies that I've seen gameplay of like combat with, they die really quickly. They don't take forever to kill.
Right, yeah. Especially when you know what you're doing. Like, the first IGN gameplay that we saw showing off, like, all the different combat and stuff, that shit was like, whoever was playing the game was clearly trying to show you how to fight the enemy and how not to fight the enemy. Like, they did regular attacks on that armored enemy, like, multiple times to show you, okay, this won't work. You have to use the side loop, or you have to wait for it to be vulnerable. So
it's just like another level of game there, which makes sense because the game is completely different. Like, that's, I think, something that's going to be really interesting, is that it's recontextualizing a lot of traditionally Sonic gameplay elements, because you kind of just have a big open area to run around and explore. I think what my brain is going to is the closest possible comparison for how this game is going to feel. It's going to feel something like a Mario Odyssey, in terms of there's going to be a couple, probably much bigger than the Mario Odyssey levels, but there's going to be a couple like open zone areas, and then within those zones is going to be a bunch of different objectives to do, including a bunch of like more traditional-esque levels to run through. 'Cause that's one thing that's like interesting about Mario Odyssey, is that it has like those 8-bit Mario 2D side-scrolling segments all throughout it.
Right.
And I think that might be the closest, at least a close comparison to what the cyberspace levels are supposed to be. Because the cyberspace levels are just like traditional boost gameplay, aren't they?
To my understanding, yeah, the boost gameplay has been like heavily modified in Frontiers, because to my understanding, the boost has been severely neutered in Frontiers, where instead of like, it's similar to the Breath of the Wild stamina meter, as far as I'm understanding, where like you just have to wait for it to recharge if you use it all, I think. I don't know if it's going to revert back to the traditional like Generations or Unleashed style boost once you're in the cyberspace levels. But we'll have to see.
It wouldn't surprise me if it did.
I honestly hope it does, because the system in the open zone areas being carried into the cyberspace levels kind of sounds annoying, but we'll see.
I mean, one thing that a lot of people like to argue about, but I do think is generally true, is that so long as they don't like fuck it up, it's been proven that the standard boost gameplay works and is a fun video game environment to play. Like that, the boost gameplay is fun when done right, and we've had it done well enough now, enough times, that it's super obvious when it's not right, and that's part of why everyone hated Forces, because that was its biggest issue, really.
I will say though, from what little we have seen, and we have seen very, very little of the cyberspace levels, mind you, I noticed two things. One is that they look very, very reminiscent of Force's level design. Like, they are straight lines, not a whole lot of alternate paths, very simple interactions, very short from what I'm hearing from all the interviews and everything. And number two, oh baby, we got Green Hill Zone and Chemical Plant back. Green Hills, Chemical Plant, Green Hill, Chemical Plant.
Actually though, I'll give it
Death
credit.
Egg.
We've seen Green Hill, and it's very deliberately not Force's Green Hill.
Stardust Speedway.
I feel like there might actually be like a story reason. I think the cyberspace levels are probably running through Sonic's memory.
Yeah, I think that's what it's supposed to be too.
I think it's the whole Sonic amnesia plot. The cyberspace levels are his memory, and then okay, I can buy that as an excuse for doing the old levels, if only because like I can buy the old levels as the boost levels, if only because they're not the main game. They've made it extremely clear that the bulk of this video game is not the cyberspace levels. So honestly, the cyberspace levels can be as short as they want. They can be Green Hill Chemical Plant. They could be whatever. They're not really the main game, from what it looks like.
Listen, you know. Let me just say something right now. I am a complete fucking classic elitist. All right, give me my 2D Sonic all day, every day. Fucking love the classic games. Fucking love Mania.
Keep classic Sonic out of this game.
Absolutely adore. No, yeah, totally, definitely. Keep classic Sonic out of modern Sonic, just indefinitely, please. We don't need any more of it. So I adore the level aesthetics of, Green Hill, Chemical Plant, and everything. But I'm at the point where I don't care what justification you give me to go through Green Hill and Chemical Plant Zone again. I don't care. Stop using Green Hill and Chemical Plant. We have been doing this for the better half. Not even the better half. We've been doing this for a decade. No more fucking Green Hill and Chemical Plant. I have been done for the past 5 years. No more.
It would be cool to see different level aesthetics from both of those games. Like, that's weird to think about when you think of like the past several years, like since Generations, when they represent Sonic 1 or 2, it's always Green Hill and Chemical Plant. But like, those are whole video games.
Dude, Mystic Cave fucking slaps. Where's my Mystic Cave remix?
It's so strange.
Where is my fucking Hilltop Zone reimagining, man?
Hilltop Zone.
Where is my 3D Hydrosity Zone? Okay, that's what I'm saying. No, guys, stop unsubscribing because I said Hydrosity. Guys, stop.
It's
Where you
Hydrosity. Listen, I don't care who says it's Hydrosity. It's Hydrosity.
Listen,
if for no other reason, then fuck you.
Honestly, yeah. If Sega were so smart, they would have had the fucking space the first time around, okay? But they didn't, so it's their fault, all right? It's not my fault, it's their fault.
It's not my fault. Hydrosity sounds way better than Hydro City.
Facts. Honestly, I'm glad Brent's not here, because if he heard this, he'd be like, guys, it's Hydro City, you're all fucking stupid. Or maybe he wouldn't, I don't know. We'll, I'll
see, I can't wait for Hydrosity to be in Frontiers.
Honestly.
I don't know, I get that sentiment, but I think we're seeing enough of an original, non-derivative game here that so long as the cyberspace levels are not the bulk of the video game, I don't really mind if they're more nostalgia crap.
I mean, at the end of the day, like, if they're fun levels to go through, that's really all that matters. But I am just... I don't... Give me something new, please. I get that the story is supposed to be Sonic going through his memories, but... no more. Like, we could have gone through, like, different colored versions of fucking Null Space for all I care. Fucking Null Space levels, alright? Just with different colors. This one's blue, this one's red, this one's green. I would have taken that over Green Hill again, you know?
At least it's Generations Green Hill and not Forces Green Hill.
It does look more...
Also Sky Sanctuary, apparently.
Sky Sanctuary too, yeah. There's that other state that we saw, which was like all those intersecting roads in the sky. That to me, that looks like Speed Highway during the day.
I'm interested to see if they pull from levels, because like if they're gonna do this, it'd be cool at least if we get some post-Generations level love. Give me a level from Sonic Lost World. Give me Sky Road or something in there.
Give me
Give me something from that game that's not the fucking Zeddy.
Zavok is 1000%
Zavok boss fight,
finding his way into this fucking game.
Zavok boss fight.
He's absolutely squeezing. He's just sliding into this game. You know it's gonna fucking happen.
I have like memed on Zavok coming back so much to the point where I legitimately enjoy seeing Zavok in things. Like, I actually do kind of think this is something that is, you know, not related really to Frontiers, but I think Sonic having more than just Eggman as a recurring antagonist is good, actually. Because most of the antagonists that Sonic has had over the years have either died or become, you know, generally, like, actually good guys, like Shadow. How many antagonists that are not directly Eggman related, so no Metal Sonic, have come back more than once as an antagonist in Sonic?
Wasn't it Razor Jin in Runners?
That doesn't fucking count.
No. Runners is fucking canon because it gives an explanation as to why the Wisps are still on Earth, okay?
That doesn't count.
Yeah, it fucking does. Yeah, it does.
That
Mephiles is in speed battle. He's gonna Mephiles the Dark. He's coming back, boys. Mephiles the Dark. Amazing.
Listen, if they, I still think Forces would have been 10 times better if they went with the early draft of Mephiles being one of the like conjured enemies and not Shadow.
Oh, honestly, I would have been pissed because in the original draft, he only pops up at the end and he says nothing and does nothing. I would have been like, yo, you mentioned Mephiles, but you don't show him? Fuck you.
It would just be funny.
It would be funny.
Just on the aspect if they actually put fucking Mephiles the Dark in something new.
No, it'd be even better if just like Rouge is like, Mephiles is here. Sounds like, who?
Who? How do you know who that is?
Yeah, how does Rouge know?
How would anyone know who that is? Actually, how does fucking Infinite know who that is? That game didn't happen.
Well, it happened in the sense that it didn't happen, but I'm not gonna. We can save that for a Sonic lore discussion video later if we're gonna get into that. That video will be 5 fucking hours.
So just be arguing the entire time.
Oh, absolutely. It'll be great. But back to the gameplay of Frontier. So there's the cyberspace levels, right? There's the combat, right? But here's what I keep saying up and down, and indeed I may say even all around, is that this game will live and die by its controls. If Sonic is not fun to move around in this 3D space in the open zone world, then the game is dead on arrival, because that's the reason why fucking Mario 64 worked back in 1996. It worked because Mario was just fun to control around in this space. Now, everything that we've heard of the game up until this point, all the people who've played it have actually been saying that the controls were, quote, surprisingly crisp. And you can even like go into the menu and adjust how you want Sonic to control. You can adjust his turning. There's apparently there's an action mode and a speed mode, depending on whether you want Sonic to move around tightly or if you just want him to go faster. Like as soon as you boot up the game, that's an option you can choose. So it seems to me like Sonic Team is actually focusing on Sonic's controls in this 3D environment, which is great. But then you actually look at the gameplay and then you see Sonic like his speed barely reacting to the terrain that he's on, and he's like, and he just, his movement just looks odd when you look at the gameplay.
I think it's gonna frustrate a lot of people. I think it's not going to be a very momentum-based game.
Mm-hmm.
I think
it's not going to be Sonic Utopia.
Yeah, it's not going to be one of the 50,000 copy-paste. I shouldn't say copy-paste, but you know what I mean. Cookie-cutter, run around in a big, empty Green Hill Zone-esque field Sonic fan demos.
Although I do love me some Sonic Utopia.
I get why people want the momentum-based gameplay. I think it would be really fun. I think Sonic Team doesn't want to do that. And I think there is... I think the gameplay doesn't... Like, the footage we've seen doesn't do it justice. Because all but, like, a single person that played the demo at E3 came out talking about how, like, actually fun it was to play.
Mm-hmm. Even
there was only, like... Yeah.
Even IGN was talking about how, like, does Sonic's gameplay translate into open world? And the answer is a resounding absolutely. So
yeah, and it's like, with Sonic, I really don't think people would be being that nice if it wasn't fun to play. Especially IGN.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, IGN, I can give a question mark because they're clearly being paid by Sega to talk about it.
Oh, absolutely.
But all the people that played the demo,
game trailers. There would not be. Excuse me, not game trailer.
There would not be that many people talking positively about the demo if it wasn't a positive experience. So I think likely they've taken the sort of gameplay from Sonic we expect and like evolved it in a way to work with open world, because can't you like level up different attributes of Sonic?
Yeah, you can level up. To my understanding, there's like leveling up his speed and like his jump and whatever thing. And then there's also combat level ups.
Yeah. And if I had to guess, I feel like he was probably like not leveled at all in the IGN gameplay.
I think that's fair.
And
yeah.
I think he will probably be a lot more fun to run around as with like the maximum speed upgrade.
From I forgot where I heard it from, but the how the ring system in this game works is that whenever you get hit, you lose 40 rings. Then you have a ring cap of apparently like 400, and when you have 400 rings, you actually like go way faster, and Sonic goes like blue and like,
yeah, I've heard this.
Yeah. So that would be interesting to see, but it sort of like harkens back to the idea of like Sonic earning his speed, where like the better you do in like gameplay and the more like stuff you collect and the more you like conserve boost or whatever, the faster you will go.
Which like honestly, in some ways, that feels more faithful to like the classic speed mentality than like, because like the classic series always had the momentum, and like that was a decently big part of it. But I feel like in a lot of classic Sonic games, it's less about using the momentum and more about you know, knowing what you're doing basically and being on the right path.
Right, exactly. It's half mastering the controls, the other half is knowing the levels and being better at those levels. Yeah,
and like being able to control Sonic in a way where you're on the like best possible path, and you know, usually the top half of the level, and you know, not getting hit. Which I think if they're able to capture some of that feeling, I think it'll feel really good.
On the note of fan games, I think this is again my tinfoil hat talking, but I honestly think that this game was directly inspired by Sonic Utopia, because there were so many fucking YouTube thumbnails back in the day when Sonic Utopia was coming out that was like, oh my god, dude, this is the best Sonic game in years, better than the real Sonic game. There were fucking Kotaku articles written about Sonic Utopia saying how much better it was than any of the other 3D Sonic games, which debatable, but at the same time, there were other like Sonic fan games that were like that exploited the momentum, and there was, I think it's I think it's called Sonic World. Like there's a Sonic World demo. I recently played that, and dude, you could roll, you could drop dash. There was you could continue your momentum after a homing attack. There was all this other crazy shit that you can do. The controls felt super, super great. But Sega isn't interested in like any of that. What they're interested in is the interactions and what you can do in this open world rather than Sonic's like basic control. But when you actually look at all the interactions that you can do, you know, you can grind on rails, you can jump on springs, you can collect a whole bunch of different things, you can fight enemies. But I'm really hoping to see a bit more like versatile control that you can upgrade Sonic with, because we've already seen, apparently there's going to be a drop dash in the game, which if there's a drop dash, I hope there's also a spin dash.
Can't believe the legacy of the drop dash.
Yeah.
Where it's just in literally everything now.
Honestly, as it should be, because the drop dash is amazing. I love the drop dash so much, and I'm interested to see how Sonic Team is going to implement it in a 3D game. I mean, I've seen it in fan games, in fan 3D games. I've never seen Sonic Team do the drop dash in 3D, so that's going to be interesting. But like, I want to see like Sonic gain like a move where you can like turn around 180 degrees on the fly, so you can like really change up your direction and change up your route on the fly if you're doing time challenges. I want to see wall jumps. I want to see him like bouncing off of terrain or whatever. Are we going to see all of that? Probably not, but I think if we're doing Sonic in an open world, he needs to be able to have like a lot. I want to see the fucking balance bracelet back, man. I want to see as many options and the most versatile Sonic than we've ever seen before. And we're probably not going to get that, but it's what I would want to see in this idea.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know if we're gonna get that. I
Probably
think
not.
There's a chance. I think there's a chance we might get something akin to that. But who knows? 'Cause I don't think they're too concerned with Sonic's control. I don't think that's what they want to focus on.
Mm-hmm. And to my understanding, like the gameplay loop of the game is going to be you're in the open zone. There are a whole bunch of objectives you can complete. You're not told, like. You know what you have to do, collect the Chaos Emeralds, right? But how you do that is entirely up to you. So you go around the world, you complete tasks, you complete cyberspace levels, collect the Chaos Emeralds. Once you collect all the Chaos Emeralds, you fight some like kaiju boss. And then after that, you unlock the next open zone island. And then you rinse and repeat like 3 times until you fight the final boss. As a gameplay loop, I think that's really interesting because, number one, you know what you have to do, but it's up to you on how you do it. You don't have to complete every single little thing on the island. You can skip the shit you don't like. All you need to do is just, you know, collect the gears, collect the Chaos Emeralds, fight the boss, move on. And in addition to that, dude, we are getting fucking upwards to like 3, maybe 4 supersonic boss fights in this game. That's sick. That is hype.
Yeah, that would be really interesting.
Yeah. What else did I... Oh, to pivot back to the combat some more. Whenever I think of a Sonic combat system that isn't turn-based, the thing that I honestly think of the most, a lot of people have been like comparing it to Devil May Cry. And I mean, no. That's not... There's no way that this is going to have the amount of depth as like a Devil May Cry 5 or anything. That's just not going to happen. What I do think it could be like a very, very simplified version of Kingdom Hearts without a block. I can definitely see that. What do you think?
That's an interesting way to look at it, maybe.
Because the way I've seen is that like there's a big emphasis on like aerial combat in Sonic Frontiers because Sonic is never like on the ground when he's fighting enemies. He always homing attacks an enemy. He's in the air, and then like if an enemy is going to attack him, he can like air dodge and then like get behind them and then continue attacking. Or he gets to like do a dodge like out of it. If they're doing like an area of effect attack, he gets to like completely disengage and then wait for like to go back in, which is very, very. It reminds me of the revenge system in Kingdom Hearts, where if you just keep mashing X on an enemy in the air, eventually they're going to retaliate and be like, "Yo, fuck you, get off me," you know?
Yeah, I could see that honestly. Like a very simple combat system.
Yeah, and Kingdom Hearts is already a very, very fast-paced game, and Sonic is supposed to be fast-paced. So I would love to see Sonic Team take cues from Kingdom Hearts when designing this combat system. I would love that.
Yeah, it could be very interesting.
Mm-hmm. Dog, you could. Have you seen that parry animation though? God damn, that shit is raw. Sonic has finally been allowed to be fucking raw again, man.
It's weird to think about Sonic with a combat focus again. Like, it's weird that they're going back to combat for Sonic.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've spent so long now with the simple... the most complex Sonic's combat has been in the past several years has really been Lost Worlds. Some enemies need to be kicked, some need to be homing attacked.
And even then, it was really hard to discern, like, what enemies needed to be kicked and what enemies needed to be homing attacked. It was basically
homing attack everything until you bounce off of an enemy and then kick it.
Exactly. It wasn't great. It was something, but it wasn't great.
The real issue was the multi-homing attack. That was awful.
Yeah,
that's the one inexcusable part of Lost World to me. That just did not work half the time.
Yeah, I'm glad we moved past that. What was weird is how like you had to like sit and wait for the homing attack to charge up to do more damage in the boss fights.
You know, the opposite of what Sonic's known for.
Right, yeah. You
gotta sit and wait. That's how Sonic plays, right?
Yeah, needless to say that Frontiers combat looks a little more way better and more in depth than that. And speaking on depth, I think I'm ready to I'm ready to lock in my prediction as to how good I think this game will or will not be, especially in comparison to Forces. I think Frontiers will be, wait for it, will be okay. It will be more okay than Forces, certainly, for two reasons. One, it will be longer than Forces. And two, it will be more in-depth than Forces. There's way more to interact with. There's more in-depth to the story. There's more content than Forces. There's better combat than in Forces. And indeed, any other Boost Sonic game. I think it will be the most okay this kind of formula possibly can be. I don't think it's going to be a complete dumpster fire. I think it will be better than Forces. So I think I'm ready to lock that in.
So good.
I don't know. It will be it will be comparable to Lost World in terms of quality. And I like Lost World. So good, yeah. Fine, you finally got it out of me. You finally got it out of me. You squeezed it out of me, Austin. It will be good. Not great, but good.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think the game will wind up turning out pretty alright. I think it'll be better than what we've gotten for a while. I think public perception to it is going to be hell because it's Sonic.
Oh yeah, that's a constant with this fucking series.
I think it will be pretty alright. I think the groundwork that we've seen, so long as they don't like severely fuck it up, I think it will be a good change of pace and like a groundwork that they can build off of. Which it sounds like they want to. Like we heard Izuka even saying that like working on Frontiers has made him want to make an Adventure 3. Which, I mean, honestly, I can kind of see it somewhat, because this is going to be our first non-linear Sonic game in how long?
You see, I think the reason why Izuka, working on this game now, wants to make Adventure 3 is because Frontiers finally got fishing back, baby! Let's go!
Yeah, we already know that like multiple characters are going to be in the game, which I think is already a huge plus, because we already know it's what? Sonic,
Tails, Amy, Eggman. Knuckles is in the prologue animation. Yeah,
we know Knuckles is in the prologue animation. Big is the fishing minigame. So, like, who's to say a bunch of other characters won't show up throughout the story of the game, even as just like small side objectives or whatever?
How did Big get there? How did he get there?
I don't think they care. It's Big. I think they have fully accepted Big as the meme character that he is.
I sincerely hope that Ian Flynn makes a joke about that. Or just like, Big, how do you always get to these places? I'm looking for Froggy. Yeah, but how do you get here?
Froggy.
I'm trying to find Froggy. How do you? Never mind, Big.
But no, I think it'll be nice to actually get to see, and like especially if you get to have like character interactions with a lot of these characters again.
Mm-hmm.
It's been so long since most of Sonic's like core, I shouldn't say core, but you know, most of Sonic's like characters got proper use. Like Forces was a start with like having a bunch of characters in it, but also Forces was Sonic Forces.
Forces was good at having the characters. Their actual characterizations were hit and miss.
Yeah. So like, so long as they don't take the wrong lessons from Forces and drop the characters, which I don't think they will, because I think that was one of the things that was generally praised about Forces, was, hey, even if Silver sounds really stupid saying he's an optimist but a realist, it's cool to see him. I like seeing Silver do things. Silver's a cool character. Use him.
I came up with a plan in about a minute and a half. Knuckles, you're responsible for the death of thousands.
I mean, Knuckles has it easy because he, you know, is Knuckles, literally like the fourth character introduced in the entire franchise. I guess fifth technically because Metal.
Yeah.
And it was sixth because Amy. Amy was first, technically. CD. It's getting into weird shit with like who was conceptualized first in terms of because Amy was CD and 2 were like at the same time. I'm dumb. No, yeah, he was sixth character. He's a classic era character.
Sonic 2 was 1992. Sonic CD was 1993. So technically, even though canonically CD happens first.
They were in development at the exact same time.
Yeah, but Sonic 2 beat it to the punch, so
fair. But to restate that, Knuckles has it easy because he was an important character introduced in the original trilogy of games, basically. He's Knuckles. He got it. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 in movies was literally basically about him.
Yeah. Poor Tails got fucking
shafted.
Oh, absolutely.
Tails always gets shafted nowadays. But like, I think it's cool to see a potential small focus on some of the adventure era like post-adventure era characters showing up again. Like we got to in Forces, we got to see the Chaotix. It'd be cool, even if it's just like they're on one of the islands doing who knows what for their detective agency, and like you can run into and help them with one thing. I think that'd be really cool.
Honestly, yeah. But since we keep talking about like the characters and the story and everything, since it's probably the most interesting part about Frontiers, probably because we haven't seen anything yet, we keep speculating about what it is. But the new characters that they're showing off, there's first of all, Frontiers is going to be the first. Frontiers is going to be the first game in the mainline series where Two Worlds is finally dead.
I mean, it's basic. It's never really been much of a thing in the games when you think about it.
It hasn't.
It's mostly just been like a theory, and then there's. It's so weird because like, as much as I don't like Unleashed, it did introduce the perfect like usage of humans in Sonic, and then they just like dropped them without a word. So, but like I think it's very easy to just bring humans back and have them stylized again. Like you could just have cartoony looking humans and nobody will complain because it looked really good when they did it the first time.
Yeah. But with the
like it's interesting that we'll have human characters of sort.
Yeah, and that human character is going to be the new character Shade, who just wants Sonic to get off his her fucking island. His, her. It looks like a she.
I don't know. I haven't really gotten a good look at them.
Also, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't the name Shade also the name of the fucking
the
Laura Sue ripoff in Dark Chronicles?
Yeah, that Ken Penders thinks he owns.
Oh boy. Thanks, Ken Penders.
I'm surprised he hasn't. It would not shock me if he has actually seen that that's the name and been like, okay, I'm suing my character.
Oh, well, it's not too late. It's never too late.
But it's interesting, but I also am just happy that Two Worlds is dead. I'm happy they finally, like, gave a confirmation for how the worlds work. Because when you think about...
It never made a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, literally Eggman. Eggman's been a human the entire time.
Exactly.
Like, why was Eggman the only human in a world of, like, animal people?
Exactly.
It's like how do you explain the difference there?
Humans have been an integral part of Shadow's backstory, so
yeah, and like you still use him all the time.
Yeah,
and it's weird. It's weird how they're gonna like, if they're even ever gonna acknowledge Forces again, because Forces is I think the worst of it, because like they just don't acknowledge anything related to humans. The world is just all animal people now. How does that work? How are you going to go back to...
A lot of fans have been theorizing that Shade is some way, shape, or form connected to the Phantom Ruby and connected to Infinite because she has the same sort of red QB special effect.
Yeah, I noticed that. I want that to be the case, only because it would be cool, and it would possibly get to make Infinite a more interesting character, and I want that.
Potentially, yeah. I think there's I definitely think, especially since Sonic Team doesn't want Ian Flynn, or either didn't want Ian Flynn using Infinite in the comics. My theory is that they still had plans with him and that his story wasn't quite complete yet. But at the same time, in the encyclopedia, it notes that he, at the end of Forces, he was trapped in the Phantom Ruby. And the Phantom Ruby was destroyed at the end of Forces, right? Right? Was it? So is Infinite dead? Is he? Where's the Phantom Ruby?
I mean, they could easily just pull like it isn't fully destroyed. It's like somewhere else now. Because the Phantom Ruby is just a weird. Because like it's such a weird, like, strange bit of lore now. Because like it creates like illusions, but also not.
It can also open holes in dimensions and space and time.
Space time and bring in
also,
like classic Sonic.
And it also needs a power source. No, it doesn't, because Mania didn't have a power source.
But also some of the actual illusions also are still like the regular. I'll never get over that with the Zavik boss battle in Forces. Zavik is speaking to you, but that's not the real Zavik.
Shadow mentions
how does that work?
Shadow mentions that they have the strength of the original, but no heart and no soul. Then fucking how
is he talking during the Zavik boss fight?
Yeah, why would Infinite recreate the memories that Zavok has of Sonic? I don't understand.
Why? I mean, I guess because it was Eggman, but like, why couldn't Zavik just have actually been there? Of all the characters they brought back for Forces, that's like the most question mark, as like, why wasn't it just actually him? I mean, also Metal Sonic. Him and Metal Sonic, I think they could have just had be the real deal, and then like had illusions for whatever else.
In fucking Team Sonic Racing, Zavok is an Eggman lackey. Why is he an Eggman lackey? Yeah, he races with Eggman of his own volition. He fucking hates Eggman.
That's like the one thing I think is the most interesting about him as a recurring character, is that he hates Eggman. That's what I think. That's like complete shift in direction. But I want to say this really quickly.
Even Sonic Team doesn't know what to do with the damn guy.
I think Zavik as a recurring antagonist can work really well because he is a complete third-party enemy from Eggman. I think it's cool that him and Eggman and the Zeddy can butt heads while Sonic is butting heads with either one of them. I think that can create interesting and dynamic things in gameplay. Imagine having a boss fight. Halfway through the boss fight, the other like faction is like, fuck you, beats the shit out of the one you're fighting, and now you're fighting them.
Dude, that's why the end of the fucking Metal Virus saga was so cool.
Yeah, because it was the Zeddy being used well.
Yeah.
I think they're dumb one-note characters, but they're interesting and can be used well. Like, there is an interesting thing you can do with them. Please do it. Anyway, they're not going to be in Frontiers, but it'd be funny if they were.
No, Zavok's like, hey Sonic, nice new game you got there. It would be a shame if anything deadly were to happen to it.
Find the miniature hidden Zaviks throughout each island.
The Zavok figurines.
I think it would be really funny if Zavik is somewhere in the game. Don't know where, don't care what he's doing. He could be sitting on a chair in a cave for all I care.
Apparently,
I think it would be funny.
Apparently, like, Izuka has already, like, encouraged Ian Flynn to do shit like this, because, to my understanding, one of the interviews mentions how, Sonic, like, he has, like, these lines that he, like, says as he's running around the open zone. And one of them is just like, man, this place would be really great as a Chow Garden. So, honestly, there are probably going to be, like, little throwaway lines here and there that are going to be like, hey, remember this? Remember that?
Remember Zavok?
Remember
this
Zavok?
Guy's like Zavok. I would take it, honestly. I just think it's funny that Zavok is such a recurring character in modern Sonic. But I do think, I do think it would be really cool as a plot point if they revisit the Phantom Ruby and like maybe because of the events of the end of Forces, like it's corrupted or breaking or whatever you want to say, and like it's being used by this new character, or this new character is connected to it, and the islands maybe are connected to it. And because like all the enemies also have that like Phantom Ruby-ish thing around them.
Yeah, they do, especially
So,
when
like,
they die.
could
They
be-
like, yeah.
Yeah. So like the whole islands could be connected to the Phantom Ruby, and like they could do cool things with that. I don't know if they will, but there are cool directions they could go using the Phantom Ruby one more time.
I think so too. One more thing that's interesting, it may or may not be connected to the Phantom Ruby, but Ian Flynn has gone on record stating that he knows the origins of the Chaos Emeralds. He knows it. Even in the Tales, the first Tales 2 that they released, they were talking about like one of the fictional like questions that quote unquote Sonic and Tails were asked. It was like, hey, do you know what the Chaos Emeralds are? Where do they come from? And Sonic and Tails are like, no. But Ian Flynn knows. So I think we just might get a that might be what this story is ultimately about. It's about the origin of the Chaos Emeralds. And maybe not, the Phantom Ruby is directly connected to the origins of the Chaos Emeralds.
Yeah.
That I think would be really interesting.
I do think it's cool. I do think there is precedent for possibly like introducing and exploring more weird, fucked up magic gems in the Sonic universe. Because like the Chaos Emeralds we've known about for a long time. There's the Super Emeralds that have been in the games. We know the Phantom Ruby is this weird thing, and then specifically with Ian Flynn at the helm, the Warp Topaz is a thing that he has had. So like I think also like weird, powerful gems, just like as a concept in Sonic, is something they could have fun with.
What's interesting to note about the Warp Topaz is that Ian Flynn originally pitched the whole idea of the Metal Virus Saga. At the very end, the Warp Topaz would be destroyed. And then Sonic Team was like, all right, cool, great. We don't want any more stones. Awesome. But then like at the very last second, they were like, actually, you know what? Why don't we keep it ambiguous? Why don't we keep it ambiguous? Just in case we might want to use it again in something else.
I don't know. I think it's really interesting how connected the comics are to the games, because like these things can actually mean something to the games now.
Yeah.
Which has never been the case before.
Sorry, Freedom Fighter Squad, but it was a worthwhile sacrifice. It was a necessary sacrifice.
This is an easy way to make people hate me. I think the Freedom Fighters shouldn't come back. They were never really all that good.
Oh no! I actually can't say much because I haven't read. I
haven't actually watched Sat AM, but from all I've seen of the Freedom Fighters, they just aren't that interesting.
Here's a tip. If you ever want to watch Sat AM, skip season 1. Just go straight into season 2. Season 1 is all filler. If you know the characters and you already know the characterizations and everything, just skip to season 2, because that's all you get out of season 1. You get a sense of the tone and you get a sense of the characters. That's it.
But yeah, I don't know. I guess I just feel like a lot of the things that the Sat AM characters, like a lot of what they do to me feels just like you could slot in a more modern Sonic character into their spot and have it feel better.
Yeah. I know Ian Flynn, he's gonna be working on trying to bring the Freedom Fighters back until the day he dies, and more power to him, but I think
you could always like completely recontextualize them, like have them be the same basic characters, but also like new characters in a similar way, and I think it could work. But like I think the Freedom Fighters as they were just very replaceable.
Yeah. Thank God Brent's not in this discussion right now, because he would be fucking raging. Because I know how much he loves his Archie. Ian Flynn, when them Lost Hedgehog tales coming out. But God, what else is there to talk about? I guess real quick before we end it, the music. What do we think about the music so far?
I haven't heard it.
For what little we've heard the main theme in some of the trailers, and we've heard there was actually a new song that they showed off in the the new Nintendo Direct that just aired. That sounded really good. And apparently Tomoyo Otani is coming back to compose most of the soundtrack.
I mean,
Joe Sonoy also working on it a little bit.
Yeah, Otani is proven to work. I'm very hit or miss with Otani soundtracks for Sonic because like he's really good, but also I prefer that adventure era Sonoy sound. Yeah, and it's weird because it's felt like they've been pushing more and more going back to that. So it's kind of weird to go another like primarily Otani soundtrack, but there's nothing wrong with an Otani soundtrack. He's good at what he does.
Yeah, especially for the kind of tone that they're going with Frontiers. I think an Otani soundtrack is definitely going to work well.
Yeah, the like orchestral rock. I can see it working. I think it'll be really interesting if the orchestral because like the orchestral part Otani's got down, but once it gets to the more rock parts of it, especially like later in the game, I really hope that's what Jun Sonoe is.
Yeah,
because that's what he does best.
Oh yes,
I feel.
Like I think a lot of the cyberspace levels and a lot of the boss fights are going to be Jun.
Crush 40 song. Crush 40 song. I don't care if it's not the opening. I don't care if it's just the final boss theme. Otani does some pretty good final boss themes. None of them compare to any time that Crush 40 has been the final boss music.
Yeah, I would like a Crush 40 final boss theme, even if it's not the main theme. That would be cool, but are they going to do it?
I think... I don't think they will. I don't think they will, but I think they should. I think we should get, like, not a rendition of the theme. I don't want another, the final boss music is like a super upbeat rendition of the main theme. We've had that so much in Sonic. I want another case like Sonic Heroes, where the final boss music is just this really good song out of nowhere.
What I'm Made Of is so fucking good.
It's so good, and it's not at all related to the main theme song, Sonic Heroes.
Yeah. That's what makes it special. Same thing with Me from Black Knight. That song fucks. And you don't want to know why it fucks? Because it's not Make Believe's Report!
I mean, literally the entire soundtrack of Sonic and the Black Knight fucks. That music is really good. That game is good. I will fight if that game were ported with a modern control scheme and nothing else, just slightly cleaned up res, modern control scheme. You could just play it with a regular controller. People would love it.
I mean, you pretty much could do that in Dolphin. So
yeah, that's how I played it like a month or two ago. It's really good. If you really want to consider the game again, just try doing that. It's good. Game is fun.
It's better than Secret Rings, and I'll leave the debate there. Yeah, I'll leave
Secret
the
Rings
debate
music
there.
is also totally weird because I like Secret Rings music, but also weird.
But anyway, place.
Sonic Frontiers music. I need to hear it. I mean, generally from what we have, I think it stands out that I've watched all the trailers that we've seen, and I can't if I have heard it, I can't remember it, which isn't good.
I'm the complete opposite. Everything I've heard, I've remembered. I really like the. Granted, it's just 2 tracks that we've heard so far, but I mean, it's a Sonic game. It's gonna have good music.
The music is gonna be good.
It's gonna have good fucking music.
I do not doubt for a moment that the music will be good.
Even with the fucking classic songs and Forces soundtrack was so good. We're gonna have a good soundtrack.
Yeah.
But okay. Is there anything else we could talk about?
They should put a Blue Spheres minigame in the game just to give everyone like shock.
They should put a Blue Spheres minigame in the game and actually have the music speed up once it starts speeding up in the actual level. Fucking Sonic Origins, what's wrong with you?
I think they should use Blue Spheres more just to activate everyone's fight or flight response.
Yeah. You know what? But I think here's where I'll end things. Most of the time, whenever I see a new Sonic game, and up to when it comes out, I'm generally on the nose as to whether or not I think it's going to be good, or whether or not I'm going to like it. I was pretty on the nose with Lost World. Most people didn't like Lost World. But what I saw from the game, and when I actually played it, when I saw the game, I was like, damn, that looks fun. I played it. I was like, damn, that looks fun. I saw some of the, a lot of the trailers for Forces when that was coming out, a lot of the late trailers when they started really showing off the levels. I was like, that looks okay, but the level design looks really linear and like shallow and restrictive, so it'll be okay, I guess. And then it came out and it was pretty much everything I expected it would be. Sonic Frontiers is the oddball. I have no idea how the fuck controlling it is gonna be. I don't know how the fuck running around this open world is going to be. So I don't think my hypothesis of if I think the game looks good and looks fun, I will have fun with it, it's gonna hold up here. This may be the very well first time where I'm completely wrong. But what I can say is that I think the game will be okay to good. I think around the 7 to 7.5 range. So and I think I'm going to lock that in prediction. Huh?
You've missed at least once.
What do you mean?
With your predictions on a Sonic game pre-release.
The Forces?
Was it not Boom that you were more positive? Weren't you really positive about Boom?
No. Don't you be trying to rewrite fucking history. You were the one who was positive about Boom.
Positive. Well, okay, there was a game that you were definitely positive on that was not great.
You might be thinking of Mighty Number 9, which isn't a Sonic game.
Maybe I am. Maybe I am. It's not a Sonic
game.
No,
wait. There is one exception to that record. Although I haven't... Actually, no, there is an exception. I was about to say Boom Shattered Crystal. I played the demo of that on 3DS, and I was like, that was pretty fun. And then it came out, and then that got bad reviews. But I have not played Shattered Crystal at all since then. So
I actually heard Boom Fire and Ice is pretty good.
Yeah, that got a 7.5 from IGN. So pretty good, pretty alright.
Yeah, no, listen, I'm just dumb actually. Ignore me.
So yeah, I'm gonna lock it in. My prediction is that Sonic Frontiers will be a 7 to 7.5 tier game.
I think
locking it in.
The game that you can play on your console or your PC. I think that's a fair assessment.
Nintendo announces Sonic Frontiers Cloud version will be releasing November 9th.
No. I do think it's interesting that it is hitting Switch.
Yeah, 30 frames per second.
Yeah.
Targeting 30 frames per second.
But listen, they're gonna announce the Switch Pro, and then they'll be like, no, it's the same as all the others. Actually.
It's...
Definitely.
Fucking... If I see Switch Pro turning on Twitter one more fucking time, I'm deleting my account.
Listen, they're gonna announce the Switch Pro, and it's gonna be more powerful than the Xbox Series X.
Yeah,
but you're gonna carry it around. And it's gonna have 2 4K screens. It's gonna be like a DS.
Just imagine fucking 2 Switches on top of each other, and that's the new DS. Holy shit! You can't fit that in your pocket.
I think Frontiers will be pretty good. I think it can't be any worse than the worst of Sonic, and I don't think they would even get close to that anymore.
And for those, I'm sorry. Go ahead. No. Keep going.
I was just saying, I think we're at a point where Forces is like the worst we can get from Sonic Team. If we get anything that's like worse than that, like I would be very shocked, because like Forces is very middle of the road. I mean, there's like bad remasters, because like Colors Ultimate is fucking awful. But also, Sonic Team did not make that, so I don't blame Sonic Team for that.
They fucked up Origins though.
They did, but like that's not. Sonic Origins isn't bad though.
It's not.
It's not the superior way to play all of those games to some degree. There's some weird, wonky issues with it, but also those can be fixed. For the most part, it is still a good.
This is why I got it on PC. All the modders are just gonna fix it on their own anyway.
I will say they fucked up the music. Why did they not use the Genesis versions of the base tracks?
The prototype tracks were already all there. Why did you continue to fuck with them? They sounded way better on the prototype cartridge, bro.
It's so weird how much worse they sound in Origins than they do on the Genesis.
My theory is that they're not basing it off the prototype. They're basing it off of the they're basing it off the PC tracks and then just converting that to a Genesis sound font.
Yeah. I mean, they basically all but confirmed that's what happened because like they had like Jusanoe like remaking them with the hardware. Which, like, why did you need to do that?
I mean, that's what they did for the previous remasters. They found the original Yamaha sound chip for the Sega Genesis, remastered it, and then recreated all the tracks to have them work. That's why the music in the remasters for 1, 2, and CD sounds so fucking good. But, like, even the regular music in Origins sounds so muffled and fucking. It just.
Well, it's because they don't have the remastered soundtracks.
Yeah. Just the original tracks, apparently.
But yeah, I don't think there'll be any issues like that in Frontiers. I think it'll be, pretty good game.
And for those of you wondering, since we're missing a stooge, Brent, I'll summarize his thoughts on the game on Frontiers. Combat stupid, open world stupid, don't care. You guys can do it. You guys can talk about it instead. I'm gonna go play Doom.
Play Fortnite with me at 5 o'clock when everyone else is working.
Fortnite Battle Pass.
That's the Brent impression right now.
No, here's my Brent impression. Damn. Talking today, not my strong suit.
I mean, he's gonna watch the video and get both of us shit for half a minute.
Now, you think his attention span's gonna be long enough to watch to the end?
I think he'll get to it eventually. He'll get to it eventually. Damn. Now he's really gonna give you shit when he gets to that.
He's gonna write an entire fucking he's gonna be raging in the comments, and I, for one, cannot wait. But until then, we shall be patiently waiting for Sonic Frontiers. Dab.
Vanilla remaster.
Yes, it's good. Fucking, I have my qualms with how Klonoa 2 looks and the cutscenes, but just buy this game with your fucking money. Anyway, bye.